Hello. So this week, ACW281, I want to go into the tutorial questions. Alright, I think I've been missing out for quite some time. I've gone into much on the theory and discussing about the theory too much without going back to the assignment, the tutorial questions that would prepare you for the midterm. So please go and try this up, and if you try them up, you should be well off prepared for the coming midterm exam. Otherwise, don't come right back to me. All right, let us discuss and go through this. This week will be very short discussion from me. Just gonna go through you this one. So I have over here with me 3 cases are about the business process cycle, chapters on 2 to 6. Then there will be 2 chapters which I talk about more on the system. So pretty much you are all covered by going through these activities over here. Let's start over here, Sunny Toast. All right. Basically over here we have 3 different scenarios that I bring in. This is a scenario where a cafe, and the cafe is pretty much growing. It starts small and become big, and we can see how they operate in the early stage and the growing stage over here. They explain to you their processes, and you need to describe, number 1, the business process, the changes of the process. Basically, I just telling based on this short scenario over here. Remember the one that I talked to you, those story from the ayam gunting, those kind of thing, the burger, the coffee drinks, those kind of things. Alright, you're going to describe those process. Then of course you're going to highlight the risk if they don't have it organized accordingly, and just talk about a bit of documentations, like what kind of document that will be generated or how they document things, their control, and the system for solutions. What I'm gonna go through over here is going to be very short, and let me just start by, let me see over here. Yeah, we're going to talk about the business process as what we did in our class, right? So early stage organized by Miss Lina with 2 part-time, use cash only system and manual record keeping in notebook. Purchases were made daily from nearby grocery store and pay immediately in cash. No documentations for purchases except receipts. Inventory, breads, eggs, butter managed by visual check. Month of end sales summary prepared using Excel. Okay. We can put in a little bit story over here to tell the business process descriptions. You can say that from the revenue cycle or the order to cash, we can say I'll like start from the production, right? So can say that basically we can see this is the product that they're gonna buy. This is a coffee and sandwich toast, right? So you can start the story, right? Start the story tells about first they will start with a purchase of the material. There's do scheduling. Remember those kind of things that I tell you in the class? You start with scheduling, make the list, go to the shopping mall, buy the product. See over here the purchase. purchase made daily, and then paid, and then they got the receipt. Then that's it. The production end. Not the production end. They move to the expenses. The expenditure cycle. They do the purchases. They pay the things. Use cash over here. I think basically you need to discuss. Let's put over here. This is for you to tell the story of the business process. So you go back to the question, right versus wrong, right? You're gonna say which one is right, which one is wrong. Then it goes back to the, remember the part where I tell you the typical process usually will have like ordering, there's the goods, then there's the invoice, and then we got what some more, payment, and then report. These are the things that will not go wrong. Okay, that will not go wrong. But the thing is, you must link it back to this story over here. Okay, must link it back to here, right? Where they use the Excel. This is where the record the cash only sales system. Record this one. It's on R to R. This one is the order to cash. Over here you can talk about the procure to purchase. Over here talk about the same plus the production. Over here got 2 worker. Over here is hired to retire. Talk about the story over there, right? Make it detailed, link it back to the case. Then talk about changes in a fully grown business. So wow, it grows up bigger. So we've got 15 staff member now. So you can see that there's an improvement in the process. You can show, right? You can show the changes in the order to cash over here. All right, this one, order to cash. You can show this one, compare with this one. There's the POS system over here. There's a central kitchen supply, inventory, daily inventory. You can compare to this one. Payroll prepared manually using the Excel. So you can say that there's a payroll over here. Over here is only the sales. No segregation of duties. Store manager handles both. This one. Okay, this is some highlights that you can look at later on. Complaint of food shortage. This is another highlight that you can look on to talk about. These are hint on the part D, right? Part D. Then there's a lot of things you can do over here. Risk of unformalized process. There you go. This also can be unformalized process. Risk of unformalized process. So you can see over here, it's still manually prepared, right? Unformalized process, referring to part C over here, is referring to over here already, right? And so on. Okay. You need to go detail, drill down. I need to discuss very detailed to the case over here, right? Bring up all your experience. Okay, let us look at case 2 over here, right? Case 2 over here. Let me see at the time. I don't want to overshot the time. 10 minutes. Okay, the first keyword is we are moving into the week 5, right? Week 5 is about this one, right? PA. Okay. Let me go to the second case over here, right? Second case over here is alright, airplane. So we can see the airplane business process over here. We're gonna identify, first of all, identify the business process, 5 main business process over here. Yes. Human resource, building invoice, maintenance, ground, scheduling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, safety and compliance. Based on this one, we need to discuss the same thing. By the way, this and this are the same, right? The compliance and the human resource. No, same, in the same cycle. What's some more? How you gonna discuss? Basically, if you can explain how the scheduling works, if you have experience before. If not, then you need to go and do a little bit search on how to book airplane. How they coordinate, ensure that the flight, you just go inside there, and then the flight maintenance, and then the billing over there, how they payment make, how it transfer money, how it connects from one point to another point, and ensure that the business can proceed, right? There is a efficiency, the main objective for each process. The objectives over here again, you need to look at this over here and try it out. In the exam, you're expected to have different contexts, so try to look at this. These are some of the hints, and then you just try to go back to, actually goes back to the story over here on the on this business process over here. But this one is about the airplane, about how the process of the airplane. Next over here we got another interesting story. Oh yeah, this one is about the business process of a farm. All right, cow milk. All right, cow milk, goat milk. I forgot. Something got to do with yogurt. Let's see, that's like cow milk. Okay, basically there's a friend and you are there. So your friend have an idea of want to start up a cow manufacturing, cow dairy, right? A small dairy business, right, that produce fresh milk and yogurt. So they just want your expert to talk about the business process. Basically it's the same thing. Over here is the risk, and then talk about the internal control, then about the system, how the system will improve. So same thing over here, the process, how it connects, the information flow, talks about the documents to be recorded and generated, then the main purpose, expected value of the system, present the case linkage. All right, this basically, this is like this is 5 marks, right? Let me just see if it's, this is supposed to be 5 marks. Okay, oh, that's the three things over here. What you can expect over here is you can be thinking of maybe cinema or some more taxi. Now it's Uber, Grab, kind of business process. Just learn how they process their businesses. But all of this just go back to the three main category, right? The one that I highlight to you. It's either manufacturing, trading, or services. Now this one is the one that I talk about, the system. So over here we can see that this is bought for you. If you can see cash at bank, normal balance is credit, obviously it's wrong lah, right? Asset, correct. Equity, this is correct. Revenue, expenses, this one, okay. Credit, do you credit this one or credit sales, right? Credit sales. Where do sales go? Sales go credit, all right? But this one is wrong. So explain each of the error and then discuss the implication over here. Implication, you say if this is continued and not corrected, try them out, all right? Over here, there's another thing that credit limit is 5,000, but this is actually over the limit already. So this is another error, right, found in the customer setup. Propose the corrected configuration and then evaluate how the configuration error could affect the accuracy. Okay, this is the second key. All right. I want you to discuss this in detail in terms of the implication. It means that if you continue enter cash in bank with a normal balance of credit, it means you're gonna show your cash at bank going to be under report, right? What do you call this? Under stated / show negative cash at bank. Interesting, huh? Then over here, you might say that if you continue, then you might get bad debts, you might get compliance or report on the bad internal control. What does this mean anyway, right? Just go back to the audit. It means you're going to do a more tedious work if the test of control fails, all right? But don't worry, if you cannot go up to that, however, you can just discuss. Let me just see the time again. All right, just about to end this. This will be your keyword. All right, finally over here we got the last one. These are another example of a question that you're gonna expect. So see this missing, and then there's the transactions of duplicated, invoice detected, and just ask you, really this is just really go back to the system use of the system. So we'll talk about the weakness of the COA, looking at this. It's correct. This is not used. Correct. So what's wrong with this one? Just go and explore first. I will give you the answer later. Discuss the need for running or sequential number over here. And then the potential risk if the number is missing or duplicated. This is missing, right? This is the key information. Okay, this one is about the informations. Remember when I talked to you about a document should need what? When, how much, right? How much? What's some more? Those kind of informations that you need. Explain how the accounting system can keep track of the invoice and payment. This one, you look at the auto count. Try to reflect what's the thing, right? What's the thing? Basically, this is the one that I talk about. Some of them name it like this. Alright. Pretty much that's it. This week lesson is simple. There's not much. Hopefully you try this out, and see you all again. Make sure you do your work accordingly. All right. Can I just